Hi, myself Vijay Reddy. I'm a technical consultant and corporate trainer having 7+ years of experience in BA technologies. So till now I worked on 6 end-to-end projects as a senior technical architect, and from past 4 years I'm also into online and corporate trainings. So I've trained almost 40+ batches and about 300 trainees across the globe. So and most of the trainees are from USA, UK and India and Australia. So almost all trainees who come to me may or may not aware of BA technologies. So here my role is to make them understand about BA technologies, in specific about Microsoft Business Intelligence, how it will help the organization to make the decisions which will help to improve their business. So now let's explore about business intelligence. So first of all, what is business intelligence? There are different definitions for BA, but the best one what I suggest is a technology-driven process for analyzing the data and presenting actionable information to help corporate executives, business managers, and other end users make more informed business decisions. So, in simple words, business intelligence is nothing but providing right information to the right people at the right time. That is business intelligence. Now, let me give some brief about what is the Microsoft Business Intelligence is, where it fits, and why we need business intelligence, why we need this MSBA. So MSBA generally helps the person who analyzes the business. For example, let's say I'm the CEO of any company and my annual turnover is in some $1 billion. That doesn't mean that I can sit and enjoy, right? Every day I have to check where I stand in the market, how the business is going, how my competitors are growing, and what my competitors are offering. Let's say, let me give an example here. Um, I'm running one supermarket called XYZ, and another guy is running another supermarket called ABC. And I have a good amount of customers. Out of 100, 90 are mine, and the remaining 10 are these guys. And if I feel that okay, I'm leading, and I'm in good position, and if I don't bother about what offers this guy is giving, then the customers will slowly decreases for me, right? Let's say this guy is offering some 2+1 offer or 3+1 offer, or on purchase of $100 if he is giving some gift vouchers, then this 90-10 ratio will become 50-50 in very short period of time. Before I realize, by the time I realize, it will be 10-90. So always people has to keep an eye on the market, what others are doing, what your competitors are doing, and what you are doing. So this is one way of analyzing the business, analyzing your own business with your competitors' business. And sometimes you have to analyze your own business. For example, let me go with the same supermarket here. I'm running this supermarket, and in winter I don't order soft drinks, but in summer I'll order more drinks. Why? Because from previous year's analysis, I came to know that okay, last year's summer sales were super good, so I have to buy more. And last year's sales were not that much good in winter, so what I'll do, I'll order less number. So it just based on your business historical data, business history. So if you take any business, either it is a $10 business or $10 billion business, there will be a lot of analysis involved. So for that analysis purpose, you need data. You need data which returns the result that you are looking for. So to analyze that business, we need data, right? So from where we'll get the data, how it comes. Let's see that, how the data will come and how we'll analyze the data and everything. So let's say I'm the CEO of any soft drink company, let's say Coke. So I'm the CEO of a Coke company, and I'm running my business in multiple countries. And if I ask my manager to get the sales information about a particular country, what he'll do, what will be his approach to get that information? Let's say I asked information about sales in India, and in India there are 1 lakh stores are there who are selling my products. Then how he'll get the data, how he gathers the information from these 1 lakh stores. So what could be his approach? So the first approach is he'll go to each and every store and knock the door and collects the information. So which means he has to knock each and every door of 1 lakh stores and gathers the information. So what happens if we do like that? Let's say I asked him about 2015 October sales, and by the time he submits the report, the time might be 2016 October, right? Or at least it will take 6 months time to collect the information, because he has to travel throughout the country and he has to collect the information from 1 lakh stores. It's not a joke, right? So it's a time consuming process, and it is not suggestible. It's not a suggestible way to collect the data. So what's better he can do here comparing to the first one? So the next approach is he can hire some employees. He can hire 1,000 employees and ask them to collect the information. So they divide into some groups, and one group will go to one state, and second group will go to second state, and third group will go to third state. So like that, they'll cover all the states and gathers the information and submits the report, right? So after submitting the report, again, if I ask them about current month sales information, what they'll do? Again, they'll go and collect the information. So for that, I have to spend a lot of time and I have to pay salaries to these 1,000 employees, right? So which increases the cost to the company. So to overcome this, what we can do here is I'll go to each and every store and I'll speak with the owners and I'll ask them to forward their databases to my place or my server. So for that, I'll pay money. So what they'll do, I'm paying money in return, so they forward their databases to my place. Okay, now all data at one place. So if you have all the data in one place, it will be easy to query, right? It is very easy to query the data from these 1 lakh databases, and it is easy to get the reports, right? But what is the disadvantage here? Here, all 1 lakh databases are of different types. So it's not mandatory that everyone should maintain the same databases, right? So it's just an information. They can store it in any format. This guy may store the data in SQL. This guy may store the data in Oracle. This guy may store the data in Teradata. This guy may store the data in DB2. This guy may store the data in Excel or in Notepad or in some X database, MySQL, and some Z database, something like that, big data. So in that they can store the data. So all 1 lakh databases are distinct databases, different databases. So what I need here, what I need to analyze the data here, again I have to hire the guys who knows all the different database technologies. Even though I recruit the employees, I can't get the reports properly. I have all 1 lakh databases in one place, that's good, but data is not in one database. So to get the report from these databases, it's a big headache for me. I can't merge all 1 lakh databases into one database to get the result. It's not possible. So here, if we have a tool which can help us to move all the data from these different databases to one single destination, one single database, will it be helpful or not? Yes, of course, it is helpful. Why? Because if you have all the data in one place, in one database, I can easily find what I want. So let's say here I'm naming the tool as ABC. So using this ABC tool, what I'm doing here is I'm moving the data from these 1 lakh databases to one single database. So now what we did till now, so the databases are in different locations, and we gather all the databases into one single location, but the data is not in one single database. So using one ABC tool, we have moved the data from these 1 lakh databases to one single database. Now if I ask you to find out the result of 2015 October sales, if I ask you 2015 October sales, then if you pass one simple command, select start from some XYZ, I mean table name, where year equal to 2015 and month equal to October, immediately it will give the result because you have all the data, all 1 lakh databases data in one single database. Now it's very easy for us to get the report from these databases. Now, what happens if I'm continuously pushing all the data from this place to one single location? Say here we have 1 lakh databases. Each database is returning 1000 records. So 1000 records into 1 lakh. So what is the count? Something around it is 100 crores or 1000 crores, right? So what happens if I'm trying to query something from this database? The performance will be a big hit here, right? The performance of the database is very poor. Let's say, for example, if I ask you to lift some weight, let's say 5 kgs or 10 kgs, you can easily lift the weight. If I ask you to lift some 20 kgs, you can easily lift it. If I ask you to lift the 50 kgs, if I ask you to lift the 100 kgs or 500 kgs or 1000 kgs, it's not possible, right? So whenever I'm increasing the kgs, your performance is going down. In the same way, the number of records I'm inserting, when I'm increasing the number of records in the database performance will go down. So now here to query a particular record from these 100 crore records or 1000 crore records, if it is taking some 10 minutes, 20 minutes or 30 minutes, so obviously that is a performance issue. So performance, if there is a decrease in performance, no client will accept these kind of issues, performance issues. So here, if we have any tool that improves the performance of this database, will it be helpful or not? Yes, because if the performance is good, then the querying time decreases and we can get the information or reports very fastly. So here, a tool called, let's say I'm naming the tool as DEF, which will help us to convert this database into one another database where the database performance will be super good. So we'll call this database as OLAP database, or we can also call it as cube. You can also call it as cube. So once the cube is ready, and what happens if I ask my manager that I prepared the cube, you just use the cube to get the information what you're looking for. What happens? On the next minute he fires me, right? Why? Because he's paying money to me to get the information what he's looking for. So here we have one another tool which is let's say let me name the tool as GHI. Using this GHI tool will connect to this cube and will generate the reports according to the client requirements. And after generating the reports, now you can directly submit these reports to the client or manager. So this is about BI, Microsoft Business Intelligence. If you see, if you observe here, the data now here the data is in raw format, raw data. Raw data is nothing but by seeing the data you won't get any information. So it's a simple data. By seeing it, you can't get any information. So converting this raw data into a valid information is nothing but BI, business intelligence. So converting the raw data into valid information is nothing but business intelligence. So this is a general concept for business intelligence. If you take any tool, whether it may be Microsoft tool or Oracle tool or SAP tool, whatever the tool it may be. So this is the general flow of your business intelligence. Here in Microsoft Business Intelligence technology, the tool ABC called as SSIS, SQL Server Integration Services, nothing but ETL tool. Extraction, transformation and loading. So here we are extracting the data from the different sources or single source, whatever it may be. We are extracting the data and we are loading the data into one single location. And in between, why we need to transform the data? What is the purpose? The purpose is here the data is coming in different formats. So the data is coming from SQL, data is coming from Oracle, data is coming from notepads, it is coming from Excel sheets. So the data is coming in different formats and you are trying to load the data into one single format. So you need to convert it. You need to transform the data which will be accepted by your destination. Then only you can load the data into your destination database. So for that we need to transform the data. So there we'll use some calculations, some transformations to transform the data. So using SSIS, We'll move the data, we'll extract the data from different sources or one single source, and we can load the data into one single database by transforming the data. So while extracting the data, the sources may be heterogeneous or homogeneous, nothing but maybe one source or multiple source. If whenever you want to move the data from one database to another database, we'll use this ETL tool. And we'll call this DF as SQL Server Analysis Services, using which we'll develop one another database. We'll call the database as Cube database or OLAP database, where the performance of this Cube is super good compared to your OLTP database. So it may have 1000 crore records, 10,000 crore records, or 1 lakh crore records. It won't bother about that. The performance of the Cube is super good compared to your OLTP database. And we'll call this GHI tool as SSRS, SQL Server Reporting Services, using which we'll generate the reports. So using SSRS tool, we'll connect to the cube, and by connecting to the cube, we'll generate the reports according to the client requirement. So that is SQL Server Reporting Services. Now, here we are developing the cube just to improve the performance of this database. Why? Because in this database we have 100 core records or 1000 core records. The performance of the database is going down. So that's why we are injecting this SSH layer, and using this SSH tool we are developing one database called cube database. And after developing this cube database, we are using this SSRS tool to connect with this cube and to generate the reports by connecting to the cube. Now, if the database performance is super good, then there is no need to inject this layer, right? Let's say, for example, in my database, I have only one core records. Then there is no need to inject this SSH layer. There is no need to develop this cube. So when the performance of the database is super good, then we can directly connect. We can directly use this SSRS tool. Using this SSRS tool, we can connect to the database and we can generate the reports. No need to inject SSH layer. So whenever you inject the SSH layer, when the database performance is not good, then only we'll go to this SSH layer and we'll develop the cube. So you don't need to worry when in which case we need to inject this SSH layer and what's the criteria. You don't need to worry about that one. Why? Because your report managers will take care about those things. Your technical architects or report managers will take care about those things. Just what you need to know is how to develop the cube. That's it. So using SSRS tool, we can generate the reports either from database or from cube. You can directly generate the reports from both the sources. You can use this database as one source and cube as one source. You can generate the reports according to the client requirement. Okay, so that is SQL Server Reporting Services and SQL Server Analysis Services, SSIS, means SQL Server Integration Services. Okay, so converting the raw data into valid information is MSBI, Microsoft Business Intelligence. So business intelligence is nothing but adding some intelligence to your business, to your data. And in this MSBI technology, the good thing about this MSBI is all these three tools are independent. So if you know SSIS and I know SSAS and another guy knows SSRS, then we three sit together and complete a full project. So it's not mandatory to learn all these three tools. At the same time, if you have all three, you will be the best option for the guy who is taking the intern. So nowadays people are learning all these three, not completely, but they are trying to get some knowledge on all these three tools. So this is about the business intelligence, Microsoft Business Intelligence.